Hello, this is Father Michael Nasser here with this week's Midweek Reflection. And today's topic is one that didn't used to be very popular, but some sort of suddenly now it is. And that topic is fasting. I remember when I was younger, when Lent would get closer, I would just sort of groan, and a lot of us would groan that, the time for fasting was going to be here, not being able to eat the foods that we like to eat, and it was sort of a negative thing. And then all of a sudden, not inside the church, but outside of the world of health and nutrition and weight loss, all of a sudden fasting has become the rage. You might have heard of intermittent fasting. This idea that when you only eat for certain hours of the day, typically like 6 to 8 hours of the whole 24-hour cycle, that your body will go to your stores of fat and you can lose weight. So actually I tried it, had a little bit of success with it, so it does work. But it's interesting that the world has now discovered fasting for a nutritional purpose, and the church has been encouraging us to fast for a long time, not just for nutritional, although doctors will tell you following the fast of the church is a very healthy way to live, even physically. But the church has been telling us this for a long time to encourage us to have spiritual good health. You know, when we just eat what we want to eat, it's not good for us physically, and it's certainly not good for us spiritually. But when we fast, when we decide I'm not going to eat certain foods, or I'm not going to eat foods at certain times, I'm going to go without food for a while, it's actually a really good thing, both for body and for soul. We don't particularly like saying no to ourselves these days. We like to go, the example I always use is Starbucks, and we get to order what we want exactly how we want it. Some people's orders are like 5 lines long of like extra hot and upside down and this and that. Well, we like to get what we want. And yet we know on the physical side, that's a lousy way to live. And on the spiritual side, it's a lousy way to live. So both for physical and spiritual health, the church and now other people, including doctors and nutritionists, are saying you should think about fasting. So as we approach the Lenten season, maybe we can approach it with a little less negativity, a little more positivity, especially because fasting has now become popular and we can be encouraged a little bit. Obviously, the church or the world doesn't really care so much about the spiritual benefits, but we know they're there. We know that to follow God, to say yes to Him, means we can't say yes to ourselves all the time. We have to say no to ourselves in order to say yes to Him. Jesus said it a little bit differently, of course, much better. He said if we want to follow Him, we have to deny ourselves. Deny ourselves. Take up our cross and then follow Him. There has to be a certain amount of no to ourselves in order to say yes to God. So I hope as we approach Lent, you'll think about the blessing that fasting is. And actually, shameless plug coming up, we have an event coming up this Sunday at our church. Actually, it's going to happen on the internet, but hosted by our church, called The Blessing of Fasting. We're going to bring in via Zoom Rita Madden from way out west, and she's going to talk about both the spiritual and physical blessings of fasting. So hope you'll join us for that. Information is on our website at stnicholasgr.com, and you'll see there the promotional materials for the blessing of fasting. While you're there, second shameless plug, right after that event, which we're hoping to bring in lots of people from both within the church and even outside, we're going to have a second event. It's a doubleheader this coming Sunday via Zoom. Dr. Greg Abdullah from Phoenix, Arizona is going to join and begin a 3-part series on how we deal with the difficulties of our modern life, especially in the middle of a pandemic, but focusing now on the Divine Liturgy as a source of strength for that. So, great doubleheader coming up this Sunday, 5 o'clock, the Blessing of Fasting, and 7 o'clock for Come Let Us Worship. We're going to talk about the Divine Liturgy. So, God bless. I hope everyone looks forward to the fast of this coming Lent, and we'll see you in next week's video.